What is up, guys? Ben Allen back again with another video, and pretty much today's like a little story time going over the time that I realized I wanted to become an NCO. Because coming into the Army, like, I had no intentions of becoming a sergeant, an NCO. I wanted to do my 4 years, get out as a specialist, and that was pretty much it. Like, I really didn't want to advance to that next level, right? But then I met one NCO, my first squad leader, and he completely changed my mindset on the whole thing and pretty much motivated me and inspired me to pursue, that next level pretty much. And that's what we're gonna get into today. So without further ado, let's get to it. But yeah, guys, pretty much, so I came to my unit, as a private, and we really didn't have like a breakdown of leadership, because like everything was just kind of scattered right now. We were like getting ready to change platoon sergeants, things like that. And it was just a big mess, right? And we were leaving to Kuwait in literally a month. Got to the unit, like, hey, you're going on rotation to Kuwait for 9 months. And I was like, okay. And yeah, my first squad leader, right? I didn't know he was gonna be my squad leader at the time. And before, I actually got to like him. Like, I hated him. I hated my squad leader. Like, he was just really goofy, like really like by the book, really over the top, you know what I mean? And like as a private, it's not really what you want, I guess you could say, or at least what I wanted. And I just thought he was really overbearing. But as time went on, right, like we went to all these ranges, he became my first line because he got to Kuwait a little later than I did. And I was already adjusted to a certain way of living over there. And then he came, like literally just flipped that upside down. Me and my buddy, the other private that was in my squad or my team or whatever, like we were just like, dude, what the fuck is going on? Like, oh my God, like he's so over the top, like just middle of the night, like, hey, wake up, we're gonna do some training, or like, hey, fucking, we're gonna do this or that, right? And like at first, I didn't get it, you know what I mean? Because you never do when you're younger in the military. You're like, dude, why is this guy wasting my time? Why is this going on? Blah, blah, blah. But, as time went on, like, we started realizing, like, yo, like this is one of the few NCOs that actually cares, like, in our entire platoon. Like, he's taking time out of his day. He had a wife, he had a kid. He could be talking to them on the phone right now, but he's over here training us because he wants us to be better. He wants us to take over, once he's gone. And as time went on, like our bond just grew. Like me, him, the other private we had, like we just became really, really close. And we finally understood why he was doing everything he did. When he would smoke us, he'd get down right with us, do every single exercise that he made us do. Like he was to this day, this NCO is like, to me, the legit embodiment of the NCO creed. And if you haven't read that, go read that. It's what every NCO should aspire to be, pretty much. And he fit that like to the T, guys. Like, it was phenomenal. And right, I remember like midway through Kuwait, like things in our platoon were just like getting really, really shaky, shit was getting stupid. If you guys are in the military, you know what I mean. Like, how shit gets really, really stupid on rotations or on deployments. I can't speak for deployments though, because I've never really been on a real deployment. Kuwait, Korea rotations don't count. But anyway, you know how stupid it can get, right? And pretty much like, it was just like, oh, you have to have like a battle buddy the same rank as you, or not even like a battle buddy. It's just you can't hang out with anybody who's not the same rank as you. You can't do this, like fucking, can't do that. Like just all these stupid rules that weren't even there in the first place and just came about like out of nowhere. And like, it was just dumb. Like the morale was so low. Like people were just done. Like we were like, you know what, this is lame. Like, dude, like people were just like getting depressed out there, like just because of all the stupid shit that was going on, you know what I mean? And I remember venting to, my sergeant, and I was just like, this is so dumb. Like, why are they making us do this? Like all this stuff, like, it's unfair. Like there's really no point in like doing this. And he's like, dude, I understand. Like, I know it sucks and I know it's not ideal. And I was like, yeah, it really, really isn't. And me, him, and the other private that was with me, we were all sitting together at the DFAC, and he's like, okay, so let me ask you, Alvarado, like, what are you gonna do to change it? I was like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, like, what are you gonna do to change it? And I was like, well, I mean, I really can't like do anything right now. I'm a PFC, like, nobody's gonna listen to me. You know what I mean? And he was like, okay, so how are you gonna fix that? I was like, I guess I'll get promoted. He was like, okay, so how are you gonna do that? And I would give him an answer, and every time I give him an answer, he'd be like, okay, how are you gonna do that? Because I was just giving him answers, like talking out my ass, and I didn't have a definitive plan as to how I was gonna do that. And he was like, if you want to change something, you have to be the change that you want to see. Like, nobody's gonna get up one day and be like, oh, let's cater to whatever Alvarado wants. He was like, no, if you want to make changes, you have to be in a position to make changes. You know what I mean? And I was like, so how are you gonna do that? I was like, well, I'm gonna become an NCO. That way I can treat the soldiers fairly. I can treat them the way they're supposed to be treated. You know what I mean? And just not have all these stupid rules that are in place for no reason whatsoever. Like, if we're done with work, like, hey, go chill out in your room, or go study something, but don't sit in the office like we would do literally every single day. We finish with work at maybe 11, maybe 13:30 or 14 at the latest, and we would just sit there. They would make us sit there in the stupid office because they were like, oh, you never know when we're gonna need you. And never happened. They never needed us after that. And then it'd be 16, 16:30, okay, you guys are good to go. Or it'd be 18, 18:30, be like, okay, yeah, you guys are good to go. Literally sat there for 4 or 5 hours doing nothing. And I'm telling my NCO, you know what, yeah, if I was an NCO, those are the things that I would try to change, get the soldiers off at a reasonable time, make sure morale is good, do some fun training, not just, hey, go learn this on your own, because while people learn on their own, that's cool. But if you have somebody who's been through it and who knows what they're doing, teaching you, you learn so much more. Just like my NCO did, he would teach us everything he knew, everything. And that's why me and the other private were so much better off than other medics. Just because we had that teacher, we had that mentor who was taking time out of his day to teach us. And the minute I told him I wanted to be an NCO, he was like, okay, let's get to it. He put me on correspondence courses. He put me on, started training me to get my PT better. Literally anything that could give me points for the future, he was there. He was helping me reach the goal that I told him I wanted to achieve. Become an NCO to make things better, to boost morale for all the other soldiers. And it was really that day that I really thought about it. After that conversation had happened, I was like, dude, you know what? I really do want to become an NCO. Because if I want change to happen, I have to be a part of the change. I can't just hang back as a specialist, you know what I mean? Or PFC and just, hope for things to get better. I have to try and make things better. Because at the end of the day, it's not about the higher ups, it's about the soldiers. Because the soldiers are the ones that are going to put in the work. They're the one. I mean, granted, the higher ups are putting in work, but they're the ones that are a majority of the workforce, right? If there's details that got to be done, it's the soldiers, right? But if they're happy doing a detail, you're going to get a lot better results, because of that. Instead of them being so low on morale, so low on fucking, motivation, and as opposed to actually being happy, and be like, yo, we get this done, we're going home, right? And that's what I tried to do as an NCO. As soon as we finished stuff in Korea, because that's when I made my NCO, October of 2018. As soon as we finished with work, I was like, yo, deuces, guys, go bounce. Keep your phones on you. If I call you, you have 10 minutes to get back to where I need you. But other than that, go chill out, go study, go to the gym, go do those types of things, you know what I mean? And if it wasn't for my NCO in Kuwait, honestly, I probably would have gotten out of specialist, because I really didn't care. But he motivated me. He put me on the right path. He literally set me up for success, guys, because no other NCO at the time was invested in putting the younger ones on to correspondence courses, college, things like that. And granted, that's part of the private's job also, to seek out that higher knowledge, you know what I mean? But he was the one that actually showed me how to seek it out, you know what I mean? And I'm so grateful for him, because if it wasn't for him, I'd probably be specialist Alvarado when I got in the military. And I don't think any other NCO besides my second squad leader after him has motivated me that much in the Army. And to this day, I still think about him. Whenever I fuck up, I'm like, dude, he would be disappointed right now. Or if I know that I'm not doing the right thing, he'd be disappointed. In Korea, there was times where, I was viewed as a shitbag because I was letting my guys off early. I was I was like, dude, we're done. We're literally done with everything we needed to do for the day. Like, cause like me and my guys, we would hustle. We would kill that shit. We'd show up, show out, and go home. That was our motto, right? And, like all the other NCOs were like, dude, why are you such a shitbag, bro? Like, why are you sending your dudes home early? I was like, because they're done. Like, if they're not going to get gym time in during the day, or like if they're going to waste their time in the afternoon, like they can get that done right now. You know what I mean? We're not doing anything else. So, I mean, what does it matter? And, if that made me a shitbag, cool, dude. I was a shitbag all day, every day. But that's because I cared about the soldiers, you know what I mean? And once work was done, that was it. Like, hey, deuces, like, I'll see you tomorrow. If I text you, you have 10 minutes to come. If you don't, hey, like, we'll do some corrective training. But that's it. Like, you know what I mean? And, yeah, guys, that's pretty much why I decided, or that's pretty much the moment when I decided I wanted to become an NCO. Like I said, I never wanted to. I really didn't care. But, when things got shitty, took that one person to make a difference in my life and tell me, well, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do to make things better, to make things more efficient for you? And, just overall, like, how are you going to change the situation you're in right now? I was like, well, I'm going to start doing correspondence courses. I'm going to start getting better. I'm going to start getting my PT up. And he helped me with every single one of those things, guys. And then he left like a couple months later, and I just carried that mentality with me, like, hey, I have to do this, for my NCO, for me. Because one of my goals whenever I went to the board was to earn the rank of sergeant in 3 years, and I hit it right on my 3-year mark. I did exactly what I said I was going to do. And that was awesome, to say something and actually it come into fruition, like, that's pretty dope. So just a huge shout out to my first squad leader. You put me on, honestly. And yeah, guys, that's why I became an NCO, to help the younger generation of soldiers realize that the Army isn't such a bad place, that it can be fun if you make it, and that work doesn't have to be like constant. Pretty much, it doesn't have to be like, hey, finish your work and then sit around for more work. It can be like, hey, if you finish your work, like, hey, you can go back to your room, you can go to the gym, you can go like work on college and stuff like that, and then you're good. And that's pretty much what I tried to be as an NCO for the younger generation, if that makes sense. And I hope you guys like this story time. If you guys want more story times from my Army career, let me know. I have a good amount written down, so it'll be good. And guys, be sure to follow me on Instagram. It's at Ben_Allen175. It's the best possible place to reach me. And also, if you guys want more tips, tricks, and hacks for my Army Pro Series, let me know down in the comments below. And also, guys, if you guys want me to get back into fitness and post more fitness videos so you guys can follow along with my fitness journey outside of the Army, let me know. Comment that down below also, and we'll start cranking out some new fitness videos, some challenge videos, things like that. But I really hope you guys enjoyed it one more time. And yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Later.